Okay, I want to do a video on tire wear for the Teslas, specifically Model X, which is what I have, and Model S, and also it may apply to Model 3, so let me know what you know about this to see if it does apply to Model 3. I want to talk about what's normal and what's not. Okay, I have been driving in the sand, so you can really tell now my tread wear. And I've done some videos on this in the past. These are the rear tires. I got the 22s. It makes no difference what tires you're running on your Model X or S or even maybe 3. What happens with most Teslas is, if you look at the back tire, I got my door open, but sorry about my knee. It is actually, I can't remember the term, camber, right? It toes out, okay? It's not straight up and down. You can see like the top of the tire, see there? Top of the tire is inside that wheel well, and then when it comes down, it bulges out near the bottom. You see that? So what that does is it causes the inside of the tire to wear faster than the outside of the tire. That's what happens, okay? If you look really closely, you can see how there's plenty of tread here on the outside of the tire, all right? This outside band of tread right here, plenty of tread, and you come back in here, you can see not so much. So it's wearing more on the inside. Now why, okay? Well, I've got air suspension, and of course, the lower you ride with air suspension, the more it's gonna wear inside, because the more it's gonna tilt it out at the bottom, and then when you go up top, it actually might even tilt it straight level, or maybe even inside a little bit. I was hoping it does it inside, but actually I think it just tilts it straight once you get up to the top. So it's good to ride on normal at all times. Don't let the suspension drop you down at low speeds. It might save you a little bit of electricity, but you're gonna pay for it in tire wear. And don't keep it in low or very low if you have any adjustability with air suspension, okay? Now I do. Even if you don't, it's still gonna wear abnormally, because this is the normal setting. Is that right? Actually, no, this is not the normal setting. This is actually the high setting, believe it or not. It still toes out a little bit on the high setting. I was hoping that it would not toe out on the high setting, but I can tell you it does. All right, so normal setting, it just toes out a little more, and then if you get down to the low settings, it's really, really pointing out. This outside edge is really pointing out. The inside edge is tucked in, which means you're gonna have a lot of pressure, a lot of heat and pressure on this inside of the tread, right where it turns into the sidewall, and that's what's going to wear first. And as you can see, that's what's happening, right? So this is normal for Teslas. Now, why would they do that? Well, first of all, it's kind of a balance, right, between what you want to expect for handling and what you want to expect for tire wear. And what I mean when I say a balance is that we don't live in a perfect world, right? It's always compromised. So if you are going to have perfect tire wear, the handling is going to be compromised a little bit. And if you want to have better handling, you're going to compromise your tire wear, because you're going to want those tires to toe out a little bit. You're going to want to ride on the inside, because that's going to create a better balance on the car when you're throwing it in the corners, okay? Which I don't even do, but it's there, and that's why Teslas, one of the reasons, I mean, Teslas have a great low center of gravity, but they also have the suspension tuning in the back, specifically in the back. It's not doing as much in the front, and you'll see that in this video, that it helps out with the handling, because these are really rear biased cars. Even though like my Model X is the 90, and it's got equal motors front and rear, it's still a rear biased car, okay? That's all Teslas are. I mean, and rear biased cars are better handling overall than front drive biased cars, or even neutral ones. So this is as neutral as it gets, but it's still rear biased, and I've got even bigger tires in the back. The Model X, you know, I can't even rotate my tires. I can't get even wear. Like if you had a Model S or a Model 3 that had equal size tires in the back, you just want to rotate these and switch them out 2 tires at a time. That's what I used to do in my Lexus, because it also had this toe problem in the back, which gave it really good handling, but it ate up the rear tires. So what you want to do is put the brand new tires on the front, way up front, okay? And then as that tire wears, you get like halfway, you throw it on the back, let it live out the rest of its life, and then the back ones are dead. They're shot, they're worn on the inside. So you put new ones on those and put them in the front, and just keep that rotation going. I can't do that on my X, but I'm guessing that what I'm going to do this time, I'll be smart. I wasn't as smart the first time, is that I will only buy rear tires and see how much longer I can push out, excuse me, the front tires, because these rear tires are going to go quicker, no question about it, in any Tesla. Now let's take a look at the cupping. You can see not only is it wearing inside weird, but it's cupping. Look at the tread here. See how it's kind of, it goes up and down, only on that inside area. See, it's flat here. It's flat on this part of the tread. But then as you get to the edge, and you can really see it because I've got all the sand residue on the car, see, it's not even. It's no longer even. It's not rolling as smooth as it used to. and I can tell already. So it's an annoyance, and it's going to become worse as these tires age, but I want to keep them as long as I can, and as long as I've got tread on there. See, we're not down at the wear bars, at least not yet. We are not, because you can see through those. Eventually these will get so worn down, they'll be smooth. You won't be able to tell from one part to the next, but for right now it's cupped. You see that? So it's not going to ride as smooth as it used to for the rest of the life of the tire. You just got to get used to that. But you know, if you're driving aggressively and putting all that full torque into this car, like a lot of people do, you're going to go through a lot of tires. I don't do that. I'm almost all highway miles. But I can tell you, these tires right here, they have about 25,000 miles on them. So this is the sorry about that. This is the passenger side. Okay, you can see it's cupped badly. Let's take a look at the driver's side. Okay, driver's side, you're gonna get different lighting on this, but you can still tell, I think, that it's cupped. I don't know if it's quite as bad as the passenger side, but it is. It's got the same phenomenon going on this side. So you could possibly realign your car and try to make it so that this tire runs totally straight and flat. Look at that cupping, you can really see it there. But that's not specs from Tesla. From everything I've researched and found, Tesla wants the best handling car possible, and they're going to compromise your tire wear because of that. So just know that, understand that. And I wish, you know, like I said, if you had the equal sized tires in the front, like on Model S and Model 3, at least most Model 3s, I don't think any Model 3s have bigger tires in the back, do they? I don't know. But you could extend the life of your tires. But for me, this is going to be a costly experience because I cannot, it's going to go through these rear tires quite frequently. Okay, here we are on the back of this driver's side tire. Let's see if we can check out the tread. So you can see maybe it's not wearing quite as bad on the inside of this one, I'm not sure. And if I remember correctly, I did lose my passenger tire once. I had almost a blowout. I had a video about those. It was a passenger side rear that went first. Driver side rear is not quite as bad. And you can see there's lots of tread on the rest of the tire. It's just when we get to that inside that we have an issue. Let's go around to the front of the vehicle and check out what's happening on the front tires. Again, I'm glad I have all the sand here because you can easily see what's going on with the tread. You can see exactly where the tire is hitting the road. And we're gonna get this from the front of the car. I am not seeing as much wear on the inside. There might be a little bit, but it's nowhere near like it is in the back. You see? It looks pretty even. These are going to last a lot longer, these front tires, than the back ones did. No question about that. And here's the passenger side. Let's look at that one. It looks pretty smooth across the tire. Nothing like the back tire. I'm trying to do the exposure a little bit here so you can see. So front tires are fine. I think Model S also is good on the front tires. It's really just the back tires. And actually these might be wearing a little bit on the, I'm looking closely, this outside front edge is wearing, I think. This edge is wearing more than the inside edge, potentially anyway. What do you think? I'm trying to get you, this isn't 4K, so make sure you turn up the 4K so you can really see what's going on. I think this outside edge might be wearing a little bit more than the inside edge, but it's not that noticeable. And going back again, looking on the driver's side, I think I'm seeing the same thing. I think I'm seeing the outside edge wearing more. Okay, this is the driver's side again. This is from the back side of this front tire on driver's side. Just trying to get another view of it. I think it might be wearing a little bit on the outside as well, as compared to the inside, on the fronts. Something else here, you know, my vehicle says, or is it 4242? I'm running at around 50 psi on both these front and rears, and because, as you saw, you're not seeing any center tire wear so much, you're seeing edges, especially the inside edge on the back. You want to put extra extra PSI in your tires, because that way the more PSI you have, the more it tends to wear the center of the tire, which we want it to wear, instead of the sides, which is that's what it's doing in the back. And it's funny, even with this high PSI, look, if you look at this tire, it almost looks concave. It almost looks like the center tread is not as deep as the sidewalls. You'd think with more pressure you put in there, it would push the center out. And maybe it does under load, but right now, with not being under a rolling resistance and bumps, it's not showing that. It's a little bit weird that it's doing that. Okay, so in summary, I think what we learned here, or what I seem to know about the tires, and let me know if your opinion differs, is ride them at a high pressure, like 50 psi, and do not drop the suspension below normal. And if you do, put it right back up. Actually, you probably want to drop it down to super low if you're doing hard acceleration runs, and there's other videos on that because of the vibration problems. But overall, keep it a normal, and then keep it at low speeds in parking lots and things, and maybe the higher setting to compensate for the tendency to wear the insides of those tires.